Howdy, howdy. Are we here? Howdy. I thought I would jump in here real quick because there's a tornado warning currently down south of us. It's not currently affecting Union City here yet, but it could. The clouds are awfully green outside, so if the lights go out, we'll try to keep going as long as we can, as long as I can keep internet service. But might need to duck and cover for some protection. Hopefully not, But yeah, some pretty bad storms coming through. So if things go sideways, we will, continue this probably tomorrow night. But anyways, the goal is by the end of this night, or possibly, I don't think it's going to take into tomorrow night. But if we don't finish, we'll come to that conclusion tonight. And if it gets too long, then we will continue this tomorrow night because, I got to get ready for SIG and I want this hit there. So we got to get it finished and get it test flown in the next few days. So hopefully all that works out pretty good. While avoiding the raindrops, hopefully it's not raining out in Iowa when we get there Friday. So anyways, let's see where we were at last week, and we made a valiant effort to get a lot of the fuselage done here. Hello, Kenny. How are you doing? Yeah, fingers crossed. Yep. Weather said chance for rain all week, so not a good week to try to be doing test flying, but it's electric, and I should be able to whisk away out to the field after work some night and get her finished up here. So yeah. Anyways, we got some last minute details to do. As you can tell, we don't have a rudder and elevator. That's going to be kind of important to get on there. And in the last few days, I did finish up the tail wires. Those came out pretty nice. As you can see, that's kind of what you end up with. And of course, picking up that screw underneath. I did move the tail wheel back. We'll get into that a little bit later. Yeah, it's going to be a active weather pattern for a while. I did go ahead and install the elevator and rudder servos also. Kind of worked out some of those details. And then what else did I do? The other wheel got put on. I did play with the wheel pants a little. Much of a wheel pant person, so you can do with that how you want. They're time consuming. They don't add much to the airplane except for style points. So I thought, I wasn't too happy when I got it put on that it didn't look right. So probably a future episode will be let's add some properly sized wheel pants and kind of give it some style look. That'll be later. It'll probably be a separate episode. But anyways, we need to get onto this tail section. So I'm going to bring it down here real quick so you can see what we got going on here. Get the epoxy bottles out of the way. So anyways, you got to come in here and you got to cut the post out to relieve for the elevator control wire to go through there. That guy right there. Otherwise, it won't fit. So it just butts up against it. So not a very good view there. But anyways, an easy way to do this would be to get your Dremel out and just cope it a little bit. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to come in here and remove the excess material so that way our joiner rod can go in there. If you don't have a Dremel with a sanding drum on it, why not? And I use mine a lot. Anyways, what you can do is you can come in here with a saw and cut an angle in these so that way it meets in the middle, and then come in here with a sanding stick and sand it true. But this, as you'll see here, is pretty quick. So like that. I don't know why they have it like that. I wish they would have made the design a little bit better back here. But Servos I am using are High-Tech 430BHs. These are not really. It doesn't need to be that big, but that's just what the Dremel's capable of doing. So, like I said, you could definitely come in here and just notch this, but you're still weakening the structure up. That's why I don't like it. I haven't figured out a good way to do it. Onto the servos here. These are high voltage standard servos that High-Tech sell. These are like $20 a piece. They are. Let's see. We will be running them on 2S LiPo. And they're 70 ounces of torque, so plenty of what we're doing here. So, anyways, with that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and trim some of our covering here. But yeah, it's just the basic hole for the. Holy smokes, that's really coming down out there. Hopefully we can make it all night. We'll go ahead and do a test fit here, and before we commit to adding epoxy. Yeah, I don't know that they make any smaller one, but as you can see, it doesn't really need to be that big. But it does move around a little bit, as you can see, so at least mine does. It's probably not centered very well. So, but that looks pretty nice on there. It's fitting, everything's fitting nice. I haven't squeezed it yet. I can do that. I'll try this. They do? Okay. Yeah, I'm not I love my Dremel, but I don't really have a lot of collections of tools, as you can tell from them. I probably could have went over and got one of my router bits and put in there, and that's only an 1/8 inch, and it would have been way smaller. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, when we're hinging, you want your gaps to be as little as possible. I'm not gonna. I thought you could seal these hinges for better added performance, and has it been raining? That's yeah, Florida. That's a Florida thing. I think it'd be a nice bright day, and then yeah, done now. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Now you could come in here now that with the transparent covering, it's hard to put seal the hinges with the covering. Now they do make a clear monocoat, or at least you used to be able to get some. I know Tom's got a roll of it. That would be an excellent application here. The other thing that you could do is if you wanted to seal these hinges up is put some hinge tape on it. Ubro sells that stuff. And but we're not going to do that. I've never felt the need to do that. It's moving just fine. We got plenty of throw there. Probably way more than we need. So anyways, Tom was, remember when I started doing the hinges on here, he was asking, he said he was thinking pin hinges like pinned, Dubro pin hinges that are flat and got a pin through them. And these are Robarts. I guess there are some people out there that probably have never heard of them. But, so they do have a pin through the center of them, and they're plastic, and they got these knurls on them. So that's what catches all the glue and holds them in. If properly epoxied into place, these will hardly ever fail. I have had them fail, but it wasn't the hinge that caused the failure. It was the footer that ripped the hinge apart. So that's on the quarter scale cap. So anyways, we're just going to use some 15-minute epoxy and get these guys installed. We're going to do the same to the rudder, get it installed. So that way, and they do sell different sizes of these too. So these are your standard size ones. I don't remember the part number on them, but show you real quick here. They make these guys for quarter scale stuff. You can see how much bigger they are. And then they also sell hinge pockets. Yeah, I dropped my hinge. They also sell hinge pockets. I have used these a few times. If you got the room for the gap, you can slide this over. It gets a little set screw in there. You glue this in, and then the set screw. And this is like if you got a really big model and you need to remove like the rudder or the elevator for transportation, makes that super easy. So yeah. Anyways, not too worried about my hinges because I got a bunch of them. So we'll just yeah, found it. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and mix up a little bit of epoxy here and try to get you a view here. I'm not gonna. It takes way less than what you would think it would take, but I almost always mix up way too much. Wow, it is really coming down out there. That'll work. Put our lid back on here, and this will probably do the whole thing. Oh, and almost forgot a very critical step here. Now you can put these in dry if you're careful, but you get epoxy in here and your hinge will no longer hinge. So what I've been doing, you can use a little bit of Vaseline or whatnot. I like this 3-in-1 oil, and we're just going to put a little drop right into the hinge. Be careful how much you use and where you get it, because it doesn't take much to get it in there. And then when the hinge is installed, if you do get any epoxy in the hinge, it won't stick. You can use Vaseline. I know Josh Orchard likes to use that stuff that Dubro sells, rail stuff or whatever. Anyways, to install the hinge, we're just going to put a little dab. This is how I do it. I put a little dab on the end of the hinge, and then we'll push it in. And we're going to seat it as far up in there as we can. Sometimes you got to push kind of hard. And then what I do is I just look at the 90-degree bend there and make sure it's a little bent. This is why when you're putting the holes in, you rock the drill bit back and forth a little bit just to make up for that little bit of distance in there. Like I said, it doesn't take much epoxy with the well-drilled hole. No, it's 15. And then we're going to push these pins in as far as we can. And then I'll just put a little bit on each one here. Less is more in this application. Because the holes are so tight fitting. Okay. And just like with the multiple trowel installs we've done, I'm going to start on one end here, kind of angling this first edge in, and then work at each hinge in as an angle, making sure we're getting everything lined up here, like so. That fit really nice. And then all you got to do to make sure your hinges are straight is just flex it. And as long as it can move real easy, you're good. And we'll let that set, and then we're going to go ahead and do the rudder here while we're at it. Why is my... I didn't install. I installed one on backwards, so we're going to swap that around real quick. Let me see here. What did I do with my bed? It's here somewhere. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. Want one on one side and one on the other. So if I put that there, you'll see I got both of them on the same side. So if we need to, we will. Okay, good. Sorry about that if I get things in the way here. Yeah, don't be scared to holler and shout at me if I've done something wrong. Okay. Come on. Try to get this done before the epoxy sets up here. Like I said on the airlines, you do not need to tighten these guys down, but since we've fenced the ADOT whole area, it's pretty hard. So, anyways, rinse and repeat here. And yes, I know I forgot to put oil on it. We can do that now. Yeah. Yeah. If you get a little bit on the threads, try to clean it up and wipe it away so that way you don't get any oil where you don't want it. Especially if you get a little too much on there or whatnot. Work it in there a little bit. Yeah, it's starting to thicken up just a tiny bit, but we still got time. Starting to actually run out of epoxy, which is good. That means I didn't mix up too much. Okay. And once again, less is more, because if you put too much, if you gob it on there too much, see how I'm just like making it wet? So after we get this installed, we will turn our attention to the front and get ESC and all that stuff put in. And just like at the elevator here, did I? I forgot to. Of course, I can't see nothing in here. Where is it? Oh. Put it in the wrong hole. There we go. Want to make sure we're nice and flat there, which we are. Boy, that looks way better with that on there, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. And now we need to turn our attention to the front. Now, I cannot emphasize enough that when you're dealing with an electric motor on your bench and you've never set it up before, to take this dang prop off. You know, it's good common practice. I've seen guys testing something out on the workbench with an electric motor, and that thing come alive, you know, without you knowing about it, and tear an arm off or tear a finger off or whatever. So we're going to take this off. And in fact, anytime I'm working on anything to do with an electric airplane, I in the shop, whether it be for maintenance or you know, repair work or whatever, take the prop off. Especially if you're dealing with like the servos, or you're you know, turning the radio on. I mean, it only takes a couple minutes here, and there's that. Prop comes off, and now we're safe. Okay. So ESC time. So what I'm going to do here, and I open the bottom up here. I'm going to try to show this as much as I can, but basically the ESC is going to live underneath here. Now, if I need to make some additional cooling for this, I hope I don't have to, but I do have the room if I need to. And we're going to put that guy in there. And then this is going to get threaded in through here. This has been kind of the plan. And then this is our BEC. This is an 8 amp, 7.4 volt BEC. It's important to know what kind of BEC you're running with. Now, most BECs that come with, you know, the battery eliminator circuit, that's what that stands for. It comes with your ESC. Generally speaking, they're 5 amps and 6 volts. So if you need anything bigger than that, then you need to you know, run an additional battery pack. Like on bigger planes, you can cut the power wire from the ESC and you know, run a switch in a separate battery pack. We're going to go ahead and plug. Well, I wish I had some overhead here. We're going to go ahead and plug that in. It doesn't matter which one gets plugged into which. If your motor runs backwards, when you power it up for the first time, all you got to do is take 2 of the wires and switch them with each other. Switch the wires around, and then you will turn the motor back from running backwards to forward. So, anyways, I don't really want a big mess in here like I got now. I got plenty of room underneath. Maybe. Did I? Yep, I did. I backed myself into a corner here. There we go. There's one. Hopefully, we won't have to mess around with this stuff too much. Oh, if we do, it'll be one more time. Okay. Want the wires relaxed, but you want them out of the way. That looks really nice. So yeah, there we go. There's that part. This guy's just going to live down here. I'm not going to Velcro it down or anything like that. I'm just going to let it live here, kind of like that. And then once I get my battery strap in here located where it's going to be at, I'll glue the battery strap to here so it doesn't fall through. And then we can, put some double stick tape or something like that, or a piece of Velcro on there, which I need to get some. So all this little final detail stuff that takes, oh my God, so much time. Now this Something Extra electrified is pretty nice because we got a big giant hole where the throttle servo would have went. And so as you can see, that's where I'm going to route all of my wires through. This guy's pretty long because it's used and it's for an EVF, so you know, I'd imagine that this would have been towards the back of the plane and then the receiver and that probably up front. So that's at least what I'm going to tell you. And let's see if I can get you a better view here. That's a little better there, huh? Yeah. So we're going to route our wires underneath the panel here. Now, if you have a throttle servo, you can always put a hole in this balsa plate here to oh, and I almost forgot. I'm not going to forget it. I'm going to do it right now that our epoxy's all dry. I'll mix some more up. I kept forgetting to add the tri-stock to the landing gear. So I found the tri-stock for the landing gear, and I trued up its edges and stuff and made it fit before the live stream tonight. It's this guy right here. This goes between F2 here and the landing gear plate. So mix that epoxy up really good. I don't want it to sit on my bench so it glues itself there. The T handles on stuff like this after the fact make really nice handles for throwing this down in there and making sure you got something to grab a hold of. Pretty good liberal application of epoxy. Yeah, I kept telling Tom I wasn't too terribly worried about it. I'll show you where that's at. That is this guy right down here. If I can get the camera in the view here. This is hard. There it is. Hopefully I'm not jostling you guys too much there. Anyways, that's yeah, probably a pretty important piece. So we'll go ahead and epoxy that down in there. Let that cure up. Looks pretty nice sitting there. The battery eliminator is going to sit right inside this little bay here, where the normally your battery or whatnot would sit. So we got all that. We got this in place. So now let's talk the radio. I'm going to warn you guys, I am no expert in FR Sky stuff. I'm very enjoying the learning process. Generally speaking, I got to go get go watch a video to do just about anything. The mixing involved in some of this stuff will be pretty involved. So we're going to make. I'll show you what I do now. We're going to go to model select here. We're going to add. We're going to create a model. It's an airplane, right? And then next. And then we're using a non-stabilized receiver, and it's a TD. That's the receiver we're using, TDR6. So I don't think it's in this list yet. No, those are all stabilized receivers, non-stabilized receivers. Next, engine 1 channel. I don't know if you guys can see all this here. Probably not. Let's see, ailerons 2 channels, no flaps. Traditional tail. Elevator 1 channel, rudder 1 channel. This is where you would add if you had multiple channels to your setup. And there it's going to give you your it's going to tell you what ports go into what. So aileron 2, elevator, throttle, rudder. Okay. You can look that up later. Name, we're going to put SSE space ELEC. Enter. You can put a picture on it later. But now we got SSC electric up there. Okay. It helps. I have a battery here. When you're dealing with an electric setup, to not have to deal with the BEC eliminator, get you a spare battery to plug in to make sure everything's working just fine. So we're going to go to model here. We're going to go to RF system. We're going to go to internal module. And then we need to on 10 megawatts of power. It's in here somewhere. Okay. And then we're going to plug our battery in. We're going to bind it to the I think anyways. Like I said, I'm not an expert at this, so I wonder if this receiver ain't got enough power, or battery ain't got enough power. Okay, well, now I'm getting caught on the spot here because I don't have a charged battery. So let me see if one of my new life packs will do it. Yeah. This is one of my new life packs here from Badass. Putting one in the next reviving fly sitting over there. Let's see here. Trying to remember how I did this before. Internal module. 900 megahertz is on. I think you plug. Now you're going to see me being blind here. Okay, this way. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Now we got the flashing light. I do believe we push that button down. Or maybe it's push the button down. Come on, baby. I wonder why it's not popping up. On. See, like I said, this is my um, I'm not an expert at this. Model. Oh, no, that's right. CD non-stabilizer receiver. Okay. RF system. Boom. Plug this in. I don't know why my register button isn't coming up. So now you're seeing some of the problems with learning a new radio system firsthand. And then, Google helps out a lot. How to bind FR Sky X18 with TD-R6. Search. And then, yeah, there's videos and all sorts of stuff that you can watch. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, and I was hoping that AI would tell me. Okay, is using a two-step over-the-air process. Power on your FR Sky X18. Press the airplane icon. Ensure internal module state is set to on. Set the type protocol to TD mode. Scroll down to the set row and tap register. The radio will begin chirping and enter. Press and hold the physical FS blind bug and then plug it in. Keep holding the button until LED lights cycle to a steady state. The transmitter screen will pop up with the receiver's name. Tap enter. So why is my internal module not doing that? So I got RF system, internal module. Oh, on. You got to turn it on. Makes sense, right? Like I said, it's been a few minutes since I did it. Now the register's coming up. So let's see if it'll. And it said here, and plug in its power source. Okay. Register. Boom. Hold. Register. Come on. Register. This stupid thing. Are you sure I gotta turn it on? That's what I'm trying to do now is register. Register. Yeah. But it's saying that the receiver is not there. Register. So maybe. Register. I've had this problem before. I couldn't remember how to do it. Push the button. Put that in. It's got both lights lit up. Register. And it's not going to pop up. Let's do it longer. Register. She gets annoying, especially when you're. I wouldn't think you'd have to hold it that dang long. Register. So why are you not popping up here? So that's online. Access, right? We got an access. Tandem. That's probably why. TD mode. Register. Okay. RX1. And then do you unplug it and then plug it back in? TDR6. There we go. Yay! Like I said, it's kind of a pain in the butt to do. And then I need to look and see if it why is it still saying bind? There it goes. Okay. And then you unplug this. And then you plug it back
Telemetry in. Lost. Telemetry recovered.
And now we got it. Now the cool thing is up there in the upper left-hand screen. And you got full signal there. I'm sorry that took so long. Like I said, that's kind of the growing pains of learning a new radio system that you haven't really used a whole lot. I'm still learning how to do stuff with it and all that, but some of the basics I'm getting. First time I did that, I think it took me 2 hours to get a receiver to bind. So anyways, now that we got that plugged in, we can start worrying about, now the cool thing about this is you can go to your output screen and it'll tell you exactly what channels are supposed to be which. So again, we're not going to plug in the power system yet. We're going to leave that till last. But I got the rudder servo here. That's going into channel 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's working. And then we got elevator, channel 2. Elevator's working. Okay. And then we will unplug this guy.
Telemetry lost.
Yep, I know. And then we're going to plug throttle into channel 3. So 1, 2, 3. Here's that. I'm going to start hiding some of these wires down the side here. And then we can power up our power system here. I did fully charge this battery, so see if this guy's going to work.
Telemetry recovered.
Oh, there we go. Yep, arrow on elevator, throttle rudder. Probably put a little too much screen in there. Okay, we got that's working good. We're kind of jittery there. That's kind of weird. Spinning backwards. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 wires. So I took the red one off of here, and I'll take the white one off. It doesn't matter which 2 wires you switch. We'll plug the white one into where the red one was at. Maybe. There we go. Sometimes they can be a little hard to push in there. I'm going to get my pliers so I can get that fingers out there and actually do something. Okay. Like that. And now, sounds good. We're good. Yeah, Spectrum. There ain't no Spectrum in this shop. Yeah. At least I hope not. Anyway, let's see how our epoxy is doing on our hinges. It's still a little tacky, so we still got a few more things to do here before we start dealing with that back there. At this point, we can get a little tacky, so let's go ahead and flex the hinges a few times. Let's take another look at it. Yeah, that one wasn't pushed in all the way. I like to flex them once in a while I'm out here and it's drying. That way it, making sure nothing's really sticking back there. Okay, so the next thing we got to do, which actually has nothing to do with fuselage, is the wing.
Telemetry loss.
Shut this off. And then, anyways, we need to put the hooks in. I already put one in. We can discuss about this if you want to a little bit, but basically the designer of this model would tell you that this works just fine, and it does. If you do not want to use rubber bands, I use zip ties to hold my wings on. I do that on the twin also, so if it can hold up to the abuse of that, it'll hold up just fine for what we're doing with this guy. To install your hook, I left one out so I could show you the process here. You don't need to tap it or nothing. There's a little blind. There's a hole right there. And let's see if we can get the wing tube out of here to make a little bit more room. Yeah. Basically, all you got to do is get it started and thread her in. You can adjust these in and out some to give you a little bit more finger room. And of course, now we got to drop it. Okay. And then once you kind of push and turn, it'll self-thread in here. Works really good. So anyways, we'll go to like an arbitrary amount here. There it goes. Okay. Something like that will be fine. And then we can throw the wings on and see how, see if we have any more adjustments to make. There it goes. Now there is enough thread or enough extension on these wires, if you dare, to not run any more extensions, so that way you don't have to run too many. These short little guys here are long enough to come off the receiver and lay down in the pin in there to hook everything up. I don't know why I think I needed a cord a mile long, but it is what it is. Anyways, there's two holes here in the side of the fuselage that they go into. Kind of got to get everything lined up here. And then I'm going to move you here for a little bit and show you what this looks like down in here. Now, like I said, you can unthread these a little bit if you want some more room. Now, I'm a little tight in there, so I think a couple of fact, I'm going to have to take the wing back off just to make sure that I don't hit anything. There we go. So, yeah, a couple threads out of there. That way, we can have a little bit of an easier time getting that wing on and off. That break. Oh, I just cracked it right there. Not a big deal. I gotta get the right angle here. Everything is so new, it's just so tight. There it goes. Let's go 3. Yeah, that's feeling a little out. There we go. Okay. There that is. And we'll take our extension and we'll plug this into channel 1. This channel 1 right now. We will deal with installing the receiver here in a minute. Like I said, there's just enough room to be able to get in here and put your connector together without having any extension and all the mess. You know what I mean? Just enough. Okay. So let's see our receiver, our air launcher will come to life here.
Welcome to Ethos. Fail safe, not set.
Yeah, I know it's not set yet. Cool. There we go. Let's check to see if it's fine-tuned correctly. You remember this guy? Yeah, that's pretty good. So there's that. Let's get this guy put in. I think I'm going to back him off a couple turns too. Go over here. And then we need to output arrow on 2 is on channel 5. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, so right next to that guy. My servos are still, it might be because we're inside and I haven't set up the, got a steel roof on here. Yeah, it is. It's looking really good. Real excited to get this thing in the air. Hopefully you guys are as excited as I am. Oh, we got to back that out at half a turn so it's going the right way. We will do a proper range check on this once we get it out to the field. Make sure these servos put jitter in. Okay, there's that. We'll clean this up a little bit here in a minute. Make sure our ailerons are working in the correct. Uh-oh, we got flaps. So turn left, that's aileron. Channel 1's correct, channel 5 is backwards. So all you got to do on a FR Sky is go to your outputs page, click on the channel that's not right, and change the direction. There we go. I wish the rest of it moved. Not wrong about that noise, but no, we're all right. I am going the right direction. No, I'm not. It's backwards. Oops. I was looking at it the wrong way. Anyways, we got pretty much everything installed that's going to weight-wise. Let's check our balance at first here, and let's see where we're at. Uh-oh. Little tail heavy. That kind of bites because I can't go anywhere forward with my battery set up here. They said it's right on the spar. Well, it looks like there's a heavier battery in this thing's feature.
Receiver is still on. Telemetry.
There we go. Yeah, I was afraid of that. That this wasn't going to be big enough. Let's try. I got a 4S 5,000 milliamp pack over here. Should be just a smidge a bit bigger, and maybe a little bit heavier. Where's my? There it is. So, yeah, quite a bit bigger actually. This is a homemade pack. That's why it looks like it does. This came from the estate of Mike. Let's try that. How big of a difference does that make? Not really. So we're definitely gonna have to add some nose weight to it. Not a big deal. I'm not scared to do that. Let's put the battery in. And then this will be the real telltale sign right here. Like I said, I know it's not all there, but the little bit of weight that we have to add is not going to add that much. Let's see if I can get it to open up anymore. That tail's going to be way down there because number one, I'm not on the balance, but almost 5 pounds, 4 pounds, 10 ounces, the way she's sitting right now. Okay. I can get this off. There you go. There you go. 4 pounds, 10 ounces. And the book said doesn't say there. they not put the weight on the boxes anymore? What do you think? Do they not put the weight on the boxes anymore? I mean, I thought there was always listing this stuff. Maybe towards the back. Huh, I don't know. But that seems like a pretty good weight for a 40 size plane to me. I mean, considering the Somethin Extra Twin weighs twice that, it's like 8 pounds or so. So that seems like that's pretty good. Anyways, we're gonna get the battery connector installed, or the battery hold down. I cut the slots in here to fit this guy in here. So we need to set it up so that way I can permanently attach it. I hope it works. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to get a bigger one. Kind of quiet tonight, guys. Let's see. Maybe that needs to go the other way. What do you think? Kind of good weight? I'm going to try to push the battery up as far forward as I can. There we go. Now I will be, when I get some Velcro, I will be adding Velcro underneath the strip here, so that way I can tie the battery down better. But that'll work okay for the test flight. And then, anyways, we got that. And then we need to deal with a little bit of cleaning this here and getting our antenna and routed. Of course, on the tandem, you got 2 of them. I'm going to shove excess battery material underneath the tray there. That'll work fine there. And then as far as battery or hold down goes for this, normally I'd put a little piece of Velcro on there, but I got access to run a piece of Velcro over the top of it. On these new receivers, you do not need to see if I can get this bent into shape here so I can reach it. And then pliers maybe? Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't look too, it's definitely getting there, so this might be more difficult than I thought. Sometimes you can take these Velcros and... Oh, you were on the phone. Okay, so we balanced it, and she's tail heavy. I tried a 5,000 pack on it. It's a little bigger. This is a 44,000 milliamp pack. Still tail heavy. Weighed it. It's 4 pounds 10 ounces. Do you think that's a good weight? And now I'm just tightening up the receiver here. I may or may not be able to get this in here. This might be more difficult than I imagined. I'm not sure how much weight it's going to take to balance it, but we will balance. It doesn't bother me having to add weight to it. Oh, look at that. You're right there. Like almost. Yeah, I don't think 5 pounds is bad. Velcro would be definitely a little easier. It doesn't say. That's why I'm kind of confused. It didn't say the weight on the box or in the directions either. So might be worth weighing my other one just to get a comparison. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get down there and get that thing. Uh, so I don't know if I have. Like I said, I didn't realize that I was that well out of Velcro to not be able to finish this stuff. Anyways, on the TD stuff, this has only got the R6 has only got the 1.24 antenna, and so we're just gonna let that kind of land in here. It doesn't really matter what direction it goes. The TD receiver needs to go parallel with the wings. This is the 900 megahertz antenna. This is for close-in flying. I would do that, but my fuselage isn't wide enough to fit this guy. So my plan of action here is to I'm going to drill a hole in my plate here behind the the phenolic tube in there. It doesn't have to be very big, just to pass through a zip tie. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of thinking too. I'll be curious as to see how much weight it adds. Something that you can do also is like I only ordered one battery because I'm not sure. I wasn't sure what it needed, and um, a 4,000 milliamp pack is a pretty good standard middle of the road pack for cell, which I can use this on other projects too, and it might fly this just fine on with the weight added to it. But what we can do is we can add weight to this till we get it to balance, and then we can get online on SMC and see what the biggest pack is and compare the differences. 4.5 to 4 3/4 pounds. So we're right in there. I mean yeah. So we might be a little heavier, but I'd be curious to see what my old one upstairs weighs with a Como 51 on it, which is again a heavier engine. So yeah, but anyways, let's keep our feet moving here. So that looks like that'll work, 1/4 inch. And then anyways, all guys do on the FR Sky site is they just zip tie the 900 megahertz tubes too. I've done like sticks and stuff like 900 megahertz sticks, and then they just zip tie the stick or the 900 megahertz antenna to that. I'm going to use this zip tie yet. Here we go. See if I can get a hold of it now. There we go. 4 1/4. Okay. Oh, 4 1/4 to 4 3/4 pound. Okay. That's not bad. And then I think I'm going to double this up and go around it one more time here. This is what I've done on my other planes that have these receivers in there. Just being Butterfingers tonight. Yeah, that's not, I'm not upset about that at all. So, okay, something like that. Not perfect, but that'll work. We'll clean this up a little bit. And when I get some Velcro, I'll end up Velcroing this down here, and she'll be good. So, you know, I have to get some Velcro. I'm not going to start looking. I probably have some, but absolutely no clue where she's at. Okay, as far as putting the wing tube in, or the wing in permanently, I gotta grab some. I got my guy back. Okay. As far as putting the wings on, like I said before, all I've done is use a black zip tie here, and we might as well just go for it and get it all together. Now, yeah, I can do this. And then we'll just zip tie the wing hooks together. Something like that. Those are our epoxy holding up. It's a little tacky, but I think we can go ahead and run our control rods. Okay, so we'll turn this guy around. I can get it to settle down here. Yeah, it's still heavy. That sucks. I'll fix that real quick. That'll hold her down. Anyways, I had some rods here. These are the long Dubro rods that I ordered months back when we first started this project. 256. Great upgrade for it, and it sure beats the plastic rod that goes with it. Now, as far as hardware, well, we're just going to put the stock hardware in it. I mean, it comes with it, and it's good quality stuff, so we'll just thread these on there. Yeah, the zip tie works really good, and then the only downfall to the zip tie is if you don't have something to cut it, because you don't want to go in there with a knife and cut it because of all the wires. So I carry a pair of tail nail clippers in my field box just for the purpose of cutting the zip tie off. So it does work really well. And I would imagine that most of the time this plane's going to stay together during the summer anyways, because I got the room and I got a trailer to haul it with. So anyways, we're going to put the clevis on. I like to have a little bit protruding out, give yourself some adjustment here for the Z-bend. You know, if you don't have the Z-bends, you can do your favorite choice of linkage. I won't judge you. So, anyways, we'll thread this through the rod. You can see that's going to go right up in there. It's a little long. That's okay. Oh, I need to do one other thing before we get going on this. I need to cut this rod short. Okay. All the back and forth. Yeah. Anyways, we left the rods a little long, just so we could. We weren't sure when we were building it, how the servo outputs were going to go. I guess I should touch on that a little bit here. I did general practices to cross down, put one back and one forward. You can see how tight it gets in here, especially if you get some bigger arms. So make sure you're. The reason why I got that double on the rudder is I was thinking about putting pole poles out to my tail wheel. Kind of changed our minds about that. I'll explain that a little bit later. But anyways, we want to cut these off. You want to allow enough room for movement in the arm for, like our pole to, or our pole, our Z bend to fit, not interfere with anything. So we're going to cut the, this is my elevator side. We're going to cut that we're going to cut that pretty much up to here. And then this guy will leave a little longer, but we'll cut it back here by the label. So I'm just going to take my side snips and trim that off. Not that important with these guys that they'd be, super accurate with if you're going with the rod here, but it does help support the servo better, or the servo linkage better if you leave it as long as you possibly can. Okay, that took itself and pulled it, dropped it right out of the wing, out of the bottom. Like I said, I would really, really like to have this thing ready to fly, so we're just going to keep on moving right along here. We're not going too bad right now. Now I have a computer radio, and I got really big servos for this plane. Normally this would fly around 30 to 40 inch ounces of torque. These are 80, so we can definitely increase the throws a little bit and have a little bit more fun with it. Remember, the closer in you go on the arm here and the farther out on that arm, on the servo arm, is your max throw. So I'm going to go like second from the bottom right now. That seems like a pretty good throw, and it's not putting a lot of stress on, your arm, the arm right here. You can put a little bend or a tweak in here if you need to. Got plenty of room to do that. So we got that on there. Got to be a little gentle back here just because I know this epoxy it's set, but it's not dry. Probably won't be fully cured till tomorrow morning. So go ahead and thread another clevis on here. That's pretty good. On the rudder side, I want as much as I can get. It's just the way I like to set my planes up. So I don't think we need to go to that inner hole. I think I'll just go to the second one out from the second from the last one here. Kind of makes you wonder what when you're getting done with an airplane, where where its life is going to go. When's its expiration date? You know, what's it going to do in its life? I always think about stuff like that. All right, there's not much room in this engine or in this bay here to run real long, super long servos. You do got to remember that while this plane can do some pretty amazing tricks, it was never designed to be a 3D plane. The control surfaces are way too small for that, and it's far too heavy to be doing stuff like that. So let me see if I can get you guys in here in a minute. Let's go ahead and power the radio back up. Because we're going to connect. I'll have to get that set. And then okay, we got action. Got that. I always check to make sure, even if it's a new radio setup, to make sure my trims are all dead even. That way we can set things up. Now, a little trick that I like to do, I actually got one sitting here for a change, is take one of these hardwood blocks, especially if you're setting a new plane up. Put your hardwood block back here and clamp it on. And then go to your right to the tail here and clamp that on. And that'll make sure that that thing can't move while you're up here setting your linkages up. Try to get you a good view here. Let's see. That's probably not heavy enough. Back to the adjustable wrench. If you haven't used a pair of Z-bend pliers, these are from Great Plains. Probably ain't going to be able to get them there very much anymore, but I know there's other Z-bend pliers out here. They got this little pin here. You want the pin to be straight up and down in relation to your arm, and then squeeze, and it'll create that Z-bend in the perfect spot, almost always. So anyways, like I said, the biggest thing here is we don't want any binding. So, you know, these were laser cut. We're going to follow this line out and pick the right hole to put it in. And it looks like it could pretty much go right to the second one from the end. Stick that guy in there. Takes a little bit of finagling to get in here and make sure she's straight. This will get you real close. I tend to make them too short. That's why I give myself plenty of adjustment when I yeah, it is. Thank you very much. Oh, Swamp Juice. I've seen you around. That's pretty cool. I'd like to know why it's flittering so much. That's weird. Anyways, this is our rudder. Wow, perfect. Almost. But thank you very much for that. I worked hard on it. And then, just like any other workbench, it gets busy when you start putting the plane together. We're going to go ahead and trim this short. On my Z-bends, I usually leave, a quarter inch or so past the joint. You don't want to cut them off too soon. Otherwise, the holding power won't be there. And I get my servo screw Phillips here. See, now it's starting to calm down. I really think it's the building. Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not an electric guy, so don't think that. I have one with 2 nitro engines on it. And I hope you don't. I hope you're still here. I got another one upstairs that's gonna come off 51 on it, and I wanted to build this one, but I didn't want to do another one that's like the other two. So I thought I'll do an electric conversion because I know it's not. Hope it's not too frowned upon, but it's been fun because this has only been the first. This has been the first one I've ever done, and it probably won't be another one for a while. I'll just put it that way. But this has been fun. Yep. Yeah. Cool, man. Well, thank you for sticking or coming in. That's pretty neat. Like I said, I remember. I think I watched some of your videos on Swamp Juice. I was kind of intrigued by it. Didn't David do some stuff on that? And now you're here. What we're doing here is I'm just going to open this hole up a little bit. There's a couple ways you can do this. I like using the X-Acto knife because I think I get a cleaner cut, and I just kind of work it until it just barely fits. But yeah, this is David runs SJ Piraki. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I mix my own fuel up, so anyways, we got a nice fit there. It's a little loose, but it's not overall. It's not too bad. So we'll stick this in here. Like I said, it's tight in here. For a 40 size airplane, there's not a lot of room in this engine or in this compartment in here. There we go. Snap that into place. Line up the rudder back there and make it straight. It won't go on. Don't force it. That means you're between two teeth. You can see how we're a little cockeyed now. No, I'm not going to be able to make null. I would love to. Maybe next summer it'll be, circumstances will be a little different. But right now, no. That's been a pretty rough year. I'm pretty honest on the channel, so anyways, if we do that, then we're going to shorten the rudder up to bring it in. But if we do that, we'll extend it out, and I got more to go out than I do in. Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a lot of guys on the channel know I've been struggling with work and stuff like that, and thank God I get to work tomorrow, but that'll be day 3 for this week, and but I'm going back to college starting in August. Gonna go learn a new trade and be an HVAC technician. So, because YouTube pays so well. I love doing this. Don't get me wrong. And then, but yeah, it's definitely on the struggle bus this year. So, anyways, we're gonna do the same with the elevator. That is just. This thing is not happy. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to center that elevator up. I have a Sharpie. I know I have a Sharpie over here. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Two-Face. The best thing that's happened since I've joined YouTube, I've been, I don't know if you guys realize, but this will be season. We'll be going into our 4th year this year. This is the end of the 3rd year. I think I first uploaded to YouTube. It'll be 4 years ago in January, February, or something like that, when I got real serious about it. So, but the best thing about YouTube has been the people I've met, and the things that I've done. And um, I say a lot of this stuff would have been done regardless of the channel or whatnot. I don't necessarily do things because of YouTube. Sometimes I do, but not 90% of the time. I don't. It's, this is stuff that I've been doing for 30 years. And anyways, the what I'm doing, I need to explain what I'm doing here. I'm taking the elevator rod off because this is so short between here. I'm scared if I bend this up too much, I'm gonna get a false center here. So I marked the center with my Sharpie, and what I'm gonna do is take the arm off, and then I'm gonna bring my I'm gonna bring my my Z-bend pliers into here, and that way I can I'll never find that again. It's in there somewhere. Anyways, I'm going to put my my Z-bend pliers in here. So I got just a little bit more room to work. And it's kind of hard to explain, but let me see if I can show you this. So let's say this is our arm, and we're going to put a mark on there. Right? I tell people I should have been a teacher because I love doing this kind of stuff. It's all this little stuff, all this little knowledge. Anyways, if you take that mark, if you look at the Z-bend pliers here, you'll see that this is your up and this is your back. So this is where your servo arm lands. So if you put that mark just in front of the jaws, I know you can't see it, and then squeeze, that's your Z-bend, right? Now look, we're really, really close. You can see the little bit of Sharpie right there on the corner, and that's what I'm doing. So it makes it so you don't need the pin to drive it. And you notice that time I let the pliers pull away. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, and I mean, there's lots of. I mean, even if you've never built before and you're a flyer, that's what this channel is all about. It's all about, kind of bringing back people to the building side of things, because there's you can do so much with it. I mean, look at my Something Extra Twin. I started that was a restoration project, and I scratch built a fuselage. I scratch built the tail surfaces. I built the one wing from a fuse kit from SIG, and the only thing that was left original is the wings. But anyways, I did that over the course of about 2 years, and this was before YouTube. And anyways, so there's just so much you can do. Now I know foam can be pretty, it's cheap and inexpensive and stuff like that, but I'm trying to take hey Hurley, how you doing, buddy? And I'm just trying to take the fear of building. Now I got a pretty extravagant shop here. I got all the tools. I've been doing this a really long time, but you don't need a bandsaw. You don't need a scroll saw. You don't need a drill press. Sanders. You can do this stuff with very, very basic tools, and I do touch on that once in a while. But I'm very lucky that I get to have all this stuff. I even got a CNC router sitting over there collecting dust. Anyways, that's the whole point. So the advice I can give you is watch a lot of guys and how they build, and then watch me and do it the right way. But now, there's lots of different techniques for doing it. Find the one that works best for you, and then just go for it. I mean, if you screw it up, it's just balsa wood. You can always, glue some more back on or change it. Balsa kits are widely available. You just got to know where to look. We're getting ready to. Oh, that's what I want to say. We got a bunch of guys in here now. Sig Phaser, that's the winner. Yeah, and I showed that on the Wonder Twin, and I taught him how to do that. I sent him an email about using the Windex. So, um, he's an okay builder. He does make some pretty rookie mistakes, but uh, you know, Texas Travel RC, he's built along with them. I'm following them both. I'm not watching Perky as much, but he's actually sending me a care package, so I do need to catch up with his videos a little bit. But Texas Traveler is doing a cloud dancer, if I do remember right, or no, Texas Traveler is doing the big bingo, and Perky's doing Chris is doing the cloud dancer. I have actually ordered my own balsa workbench short kit. Doing an extra 3.25 from Rich Urovich. I don't know if a lot of people know on here. I don't think I really said anything, but a good flying buddy of mine passed away a couple weeks ago. We buried him last week, and I always teased him about the extra 3.25 because he loves his X. He loves flying his extras. And I said, one of these days I'm going to build one for you so that way you can enjoy the thrills of a balsa plane. And I never got around to doing it. So the next night I realized Balsa Workbench had a short kit. So it's sitting over there, just waiting. I don't know if I'll videotape that one or not. But anyways, the Phaser did win the live stream next build, so we'll be doing that. Tackling that next. A lot of people think that's not available anymore. It's not from SIG. You can get the plans on Outer Zone, and you can order a short kit from Balsa Workbench. I think it's like $60. Yeah, I probably should. I probably will. It's a fun little build. My buddy Dave Petrie that I met on here, he's going to offer me up a motor for it. I usually go electric on 25 size or lower because I don't. The smaller motors than me don't generally get along, but he's offered me a OS 32, so I will probably take him up on that offer, and that's probably what it'll get. So, anyways, the Phaser build that's going to commence here in a few weeks. Remember, next weekend I'm out at SIG at the flying. We will do. Me and Tom will be doing. I'm going to get him on the camera. I hope he knows that. We'll be doing a live stream from out there. Possibly more than one of the days. And then, anyways, the following weekend, I'm just going to take the weekend off. I haven't had a weekend off, and yeah. Yeah. I'm going to get Tom on the camera. I know I'm surprised Four Eyes isn't in here. He's been asking how Tom is. Anyways, we got we'll be going live, and then I'm going to just take the following weekend off, and then the following weekend after that we will commence with the Fraser build. You'll have to. I am in west central Ohio, right on the Indiana border, Union City, Ohio. Probably shouldn't say where I'm at, but I might be a celebrity one day. But probably not. But yeah, it's I live out in the middle of nowhere. I'm a member of the Greenville Dark County Air Wilders Association. I'm actually the treasurer for the club. What we're doing here is I bent the Z bend and I'm a little short, so I'm going to stretch this guy out, and that way I can get the rod hooked up in the right location. It's important that your rods are your.
Prolonged inactivity.
Oh, I know. I haven't touched you in a while, and you're upset. It's important that your servo arms maintain 90-degree geometry, so you got equal up and down travel. So let's try that. Western New York, okay. You know, I got a few buddies out there in the Buffalo area and stuff. What are you talking about? You're fine. Quit talking. Fancy radios. So, looks like I need to, see what I mean? I'm just off a little bit for backing this off. So, I'm going to stretch the rod out some more. Probably 4 or 5 turns. This is all part of getting it ready to fly. And, making sure your model is going to have successful first flights. You know, I am not too terribly worried about this guy, but you just never know, right? There. Yeah, it's like I said on the beginning part of the stream here, we're going to get it finished tonight. And anyways, we're getting real close. Boy, a couple more turns. Back and forth, back and forth. As far as the tail wheel goes, I guess I could start talking about that. I had it originally had the angle of the tail wheel. This is a Sullivan Bubba tail wheel for 5 to 12 pound planes that I bought from Sullivan. Now I'm running almost out of thread there, so we might have to compromise a little bit here. I don't want to have a minimum engagement in there. Yeah. Does that servo horn impact the rear of the firewall there? I don't think so. We're trying to find out here. Like I said, I know it's close, but hey, finally. I like these arms because you can slide them in and out and really fine tune them and make sure you're getting around stuff. As far as I know, no, it doesn't hit. I've had the arms on here and been wiggling stuff around. Let's see. Take my brace off of here. I don't want to move it too fast here. Nope, not even close. Look at all that throw. Holy smokes. Oh, it almost. Gotta love high voltage servos, how fast those things are. But anyways, here, let me get you a close up. This is pretty mild milestone right here. No, doesn't even come close. The biggest thing is if you push this arm too far out, it would hit over here in the little cove there. You could alleviate that a little bit by turning the servos. Of course, we don't need a double arm here, so now ideally, and I talked about this with the ailerons. Okay, ideally, you put the servo in this way. Put the gear train away from the servo, so that way you're pulling against the bearing and the main structure of the servo. Not too worried about it on this guy. Sometimes you just can't avoid it. So, yeah. Anyways, there's that. Looks like we got, hopefully everything's dried back here. Not quite yet. Yeah, that's going to have to basically sit overnight because it's still not completely dry. I can move it around a little bit. Okay. We can fine tune those a little bit more. Some of this might go with trimming, you know. Oh, I don't have the trim set up yet.
Trim center.
It don't look bad. Oh.
Trim center.
Anyways, the one thing that drives me nuts with the FR Sky radios, let me show you something there. So, if you go here, and I do believe it's an outputs, yes, and you hit channel, and this gives you your individual channel selection here, and you can, this is not where you set up dual rates at. I'm going to have to watch a video on that again because I don't remember how to do it, to be honest with you. Anyways, you can slow things down, you can swap channels, but my thought in here, let me look. Where is, it's not in that. Trims. There you go. So there's another setting here that's trims. This tells the radio how much you want each click to matter and how far you want it to go. And every time you do this, it's in fine. So I want it in coarse because, you know, in fine, let's look at the rudder real quick. You can
Min reach.
see how many clicks that took to do to get that rudder to move.
Trim center.
That's a lot of movement.
Trim center.
I still need to go back there and adjust that cut, but that's fine. If you go coarse, now it's almost immediate.
Trim center.
You know what I mean? And I don't know why they do that. I mean, so we're going to change all these except for throttle, airline trim. Maybe somebody knows. That's how your radio master is. Yeah, I have one of those too. So anyways, we're going to do that. Airline. Make sure the other airline's not in here. I think we plugged that into channel 5. So I'm going to do channel 5 too, of course. Let's make sure our airlines are working right. Yep.
Trim center.
Boy, those servos are quick. So, anyways, the next step's going to be setting up dual rates. Like I said, I'm no expert at FR Sky. I'm not even going to start. There's like 2 or 3 different ways to set up dual rates on this, and so we'll dial the rates in. I can show you how I will set it up. So, anyways, we're going to knock this guy down like so. And then what I do, you can do this a couple of ways. You can use a tape measure if you're not very good with a tape measure. You can, use an angle, 90-degree angle or whatnot. Let's see if we can get you in here. So you're going to need your radio. You're going to need it turned on. Look how bad that thing is jittery, but it smooths out. So sometimes jittery. The covering is so slippery here that, there we go, stay. Anyways, go to your workbench, get a height, okay? We know these are set correctly, so we're, 5 3/4, and then we're gonna go up, and we got 7 3/4, so that's 5. That's 2 inches of travel right there. And it should be the same both up and down. And then in the book, back here in the back, it's going to give you your travel rate. Now we got, I said 2 inches, right? 2 inches up and down elevator, 2 inches up and down airlines for, this is high rate travel. 2 1/4 left, 2 1/4 right for that. So let's see what the elevator is doing. Gonna do the same thing back here. This is about the easiest way to do it. So we got 4 7/8 and 6 7/8. So that's perfect, right? I mean, that's, for high rates, that's good. So all we got to do when we go into the radio system to set dual rates up, I like to set mine up on one switch. So elevator and air on one switch. I got low rates, I got high rates. Fine tune it a little bit as you fly. So I usually use like this. I like this triple switch right here, on my radio. I always get them up here on the right hand side. That's where I usually set my rates. Mixes go over here, flaps and retracts on the corners. So the easiest way to do that is to do every radio the same. Get something so that way you can do it by muscle memory. High rates, low rates. Yeah, it is. You can buy the kit online, and you can still build it. They're still selling it. It's $239, I think. I don't remember the exact price, but you can still get the something extra. That's why this was a build along. You could go buy one and build one yourself. Follow along with me. And again, if you guys do build along even after the fact, I do have stickers for the build along, so I can send you a sticker. No, you can go to SIG. They're still making the something extra kit and the LT40 kit. They have several new ARFs. They have a something extra 60 ARF. They have the Kiwis back in a 40 size ARF, if you remember that guy. Go check out SIG's site. You'd be surprised what's still available. What was that last? I think it was last winter. I restored my Cougar. Yeah, 269. And I think the 60 size ARF, it's a little pricey. I'd love to get my hands on one. I might scratch build one. I copied all the templates off this guy to be able to blow it up and scratch build one. So maybe a 50cc size, who knows? But I did the restoration on the Cougar a couple years ago, and I got all the plastic parts I needed for it. I got a new turtle deck and a canopy, and the Twin Wonder up there I scratch built that beginning of the year. No, hasn't fallen yet. We're having issues. Me and Tom are brainstorming ideas to try to get that thing flying because it hasn't fallen yet. Actually had a mishap with the landing yet, so I got a video coming on that. Hopefully next few weeks. But yeah, cool, awesome. See, Hurley built one. I know he didn't follow along, but it was kind of good luck timing that we were in the middle of the build along, or just starting it when he started his. Hurley got his something extra flying. Oh God, that's probably been 3 weeks ago now, hasn't it? 3 or 4 weeks ago. So, yeah. Okay, yeah. I was going to say, I haven't seen you post it much. You must be working a lot. But, anyways, we got that done. We got control surfaces done. I need to, let's go ahead and spin this motor back around. And then we will tidy up the so I did have it right the first time. Kind of sucks, these things. These control mechanisms are or plugins are hard to deal with. I said in the beginning, I hope I don't have to deal with them very much, and here I am, the third time's the charm, I guess. Yeah, and like I said, if you haven't built anything, you can you can follow this whole series. I did everything. I did everything front to back. Pretty stock. We've modified very little on this. The of course the electric conversion, ARF landing gear, a great upgrade, especially if you want to run a 4-stroke. They're a lot taller than the stock gear. And then I added counterbalances to my elevator and rudder because I like the way it looks, and I explained that all in the live stream. Okay. And then I went really in depth on the covering job. So, and if you have, between now and winter, if you have time, go back and, like the Bruce Starp Engineering Flying King's a good build series to watch for especially a new guy. And you can pick up a lot of little tips and tricks here along the way. And watch some other guys. If you want to see a real master builder and you really got the time, Michael Bayonet from Bayonet's RC World, master builder. He's better than me, and but his videos are really, really long, and he does a lot of scale stuff. So, yeah. Anyways, this is a great first plane to build if you're not new to flying, but you're new to building. So. Yeah, bayonet. I'm bad at spelling it too. Wait a second here. I can show you. I don't want to. Stupid phone. Yeah. Let's go here. Search. Search. Can you see that? Sometimes he drops in. He's a good friend. There you go. Yeah, I don't know why it won't pick that up. Yeah. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, like I said, I think he's in the middle of a Planes Revived P-47 build. Gonna have a radial engine on it. That Mustang build that he just got done, a great flying airplane, great build. Lots of scale details, and he lives in Guam, so it's really hard for him to get stuff. And so sometimes he goes months without posting, but when he shows something, man, it's a work of art. And if you're on Facebook, you can friend request him and stuff, and talk to him personally. He shows a lot of stuff on Facebook as well as I do. So if you're not sure, here I'll spell my name out for you. That's my name. If you want to look me up on Facebook and send me a friend request. But anyways, we got that turned around now, right? We're getting off track here. There we go. Yep. And then, so the next thing we need to do is this battery hold down. I'm going to try to get it as centered as I can so it holds it. Like I said, I need to get some Velcro so that way I can put my battery down in more permanently. But what I'm going to do beforehand, now see, this is kind of a double-edged sword here. Stop distracting. Yeah. So anyways, you can see here, we got the Velcro here. What I'll do is we'll throw a little bit of CA on here just to help hold this down. And then this is the felt stuff. So I'll see if I can find some of the other side of the Velcro, the stiffer side, and see if we can use that for holding the ESC down. So, but until then, we'll take some thin CA in here and kind of wick it underneath there, and should hold it, right? That way we don't have to get it underneath the big hatch underneath all the time. Not sure if you guys saw this or not. Upside down. Every airplane I build gets the RC barn in the year it was built. The reason why I do that is because you never know what life might bring, and in 20 years these airplanes could be valuable. When I'm long gone, and you'll know that that's an original airplane, original RC barn airplane. So looking for my, there it is. Yeah, we're going on 2 hours again. That's the second week in a row. But this stuff takes time, guys. I mean, it's but if you're grabbing, oh, that must be you, Garrett Crabtree. Is that you, Swamp Juice? But if you if you don't have a lot of time, I mean, me and Tom were talking about this plane, last week about the what it takes to build it and stuff, and we were pretty sure if you stayed at it, you could build it in a week. Now, why? Oh, my servo arm fell off. I need to get screws on there. Go. Get that servo screw in there. I'll have to find a spare, which I always have spare servos. Yeah. Okay, cool. Get that one in. Get that one in. Okay. Next thing is I would put the hatches on. Maybe we'll do that here towards the end and get a final picture. Oh, we got to get stickers on it yet. Tail wheel. I'm going to set my radio aside here. Okay. Tail wheel assembly. Now, I had this part of the tail wheel up here on the rudder line, and that's generally speaking how they are built, how they are installed. This comes up and goes over the rudder. But when I did that, and I had the arms here, my springs were going to be like an inch long. So what I did is I moved it back. There's several holes in this tail wheel assembly. So I think originally I had this one up here, and you can see the other hole there where I put the line nut. Because I put it into the rudder post, I drilled a 16th inch hole in here straight down, and then I carefully thread it because this is all balsa back here. There's no plywood, and once it started touching the wheel, the tail wheel here, I backed it out. I was just trying to create threads, and then I dropped several drops of thin CA in there to harden those threads, and then we screwed it back down, and that should last a really long time, just to sit there and hold that. By moving it back, I got better geometry for my... Yeah, that's why you leave a prop off of the airplane when you're messing around with throttle, because I just hit the throttle by mistake. That could have been bad if the prop would have been on there. So remember that, take those props off when you're working on electric stuff. So anyways, I got everything separated here. I did have to run a tap through here, like I said. I think they just put the wire in a little thing. And the other thing I don't like is how loose this is. I probably won't order another one of those. So it's kind of expensive, and yeah, exactly. I just can't emphasize how, trying to be as safe as you possibly can, especially around electrics, because a lot of people let their guard down. You see it all the time on Facebook, guys getting their finger cut off, getting chewed up and having to get 30 stitches because a prop went through them. So yeah, just people buy electrics. I don't hate them. I think they got a purpose. This is the biggest electric I've ever had. My 4-star 20 is electric, and the reason for that is because it's a night flyer. So yeah, I need to get that set up too. Put a throttle cut in. Thanks for that. Yep. So that way, when you're out the flying field, you can throttle cut. Because one time my Mackenzie, she'll never let me down. My oldest daughter, she was carrying my 4-star 20 back from a sortie and was holding it like this in the tail. And I was walking along this with my radio in my hand, and I hit that throttle, and it cut her 3 times on her leg. Not deep, but it still hit her. And yeah, throttle cut is probably worth its weight in gold. Anyways, we're going to drill a hole for this rod. Yeah, this was a long time ago, several years ago. But yeah, accidents happen for sure. I'm going to start small with an 1/8 inch drill bit and see if that'll fit. We're going to get it as close to the hinge line as we possibly can, but still leaving some meat around it. See, that's not quite big enough, so we'll just upsize it a little bit. Yeah. I think you remember that, Tom. You weren't there, but I think I remember telling you about it. Like I said, several years ago. We were out flying at the campgrounds we were at, and they had enough room out there for that 4-star. But that's come to an end now that everything's all screwed up with the FAA. Okay, so I knew this was coming and I forgot to get it. So I'll have to apologize for a minute here. And I need to find another nut and a washer for this. I didn't necessarily get directions for this. But hey, check this guy out. Who knows what this is? Tom knows what it is. Tom always knows what it is. Okay, let me see if I can find a bolt here. Or nut in the water here real quick. I should. I think this is 440. This one will be way too small. Maybe. There we go. Yeah. Oh, is it starting to buffer a little bit? I don't know. Okay, it's going now. Okay. Yeah, I hate that when that starts to happen. We've been having so many problems with that, and I've fixed stuff and everything. So I got a washer and a little bolt here for the for that arm, and I'm just gonna snug these up a little bit. I'm gonna center this the best I can. You'll see what I'm doing here in a minute. Yeah, that's how long has everybody been in the hobby? Because I learned something new today. Right now, that's all you use. Do you know what that guy is? In particular, lack of what's lacking on the back. Boy, this is brand new though. I mean, I didn't. It's new old stock, I should say. Oh yeah, I got yeah. I don't think you've been around very much to know what the full extent of my see if I can reach it. Do do Yeah, it's a pretty cool radio. It um I'm gonna explain it in a it's going in that SIG airplane I just showed you. Yeah, and that's going to Radio South to get restored. I finally found a receiver for it. Anyways, this is, and I didn't even know these existed, but this is an old JR 7202. It's old. This is, probably the last of the 72 megahertz stuff. Anyways, no crystal, but it's 72 megahertz. It's channel assignable. So this will work with any JR's receiver. I didn't know that stuff existed. I had no idea. We didn't. I didn't grow up as a Futaba or a JR guy. We were an electronics and Futaba family. So when I was growing up. Anyways, here we are getting distracted again. And I'm gonna be up a creek here in a minute. Oh, that's what I was gonna do. I remember now. So, anyways, I don't know why this came with these long ass arms, but they got 4 of them, and I'm assuming this is for really big airplanes. Uh, Anyways, I'm gonna take 2 of these, and I'm gonna shorten these up because the springs, you know, they're pretty long, and I don't, we want to have some tension on these guys. So what I'm going to do is take a drill bit here. You can always modify that stuff. This stuff, you don't need to run it, make it work for you. So I'm going to take the smallest drill bit I got, a 16th inch. For those that do not know, that airplane I showed you was a SIG Mayhem. It was a early 2000s ARF. Tom picked one up at Brian's at the hobby shop in Lenore. I got that one from trying to drill a hole way closer so I can modify this guy. And so I got mine from Henry. That's actually going to be hopefully a revive and fly this week, and or in the next few weeks, because I already got one done. Just got to get the video edited up and get the airplane flying better. Anyways, the Mayhem is came from Toledo. It will go back to Henry when it's done. He is kind of sponsoring it, so we're gonna do a revive and fly on it, get it flying, and then later this year I'm going to restore it.
Prolonged inactivity.
Well, it does not like being left on for very long, does it? Anyways, we got 2 new holes drilled in there. And then I'm going to fire my bandsaw up and cut those shorter. So that way the springs can actually do their job, springing. Okay. So we made those pretty short. And now I'll pick up my bandsaw over here, or bandsaw, sander, and we'll make them look nice. Okay, now these guys are just going to slide on here and they're going to be able to rotate. You don't, sorry. Kenny, are you alright? Anyways, these are just going to be able to rotate on here. The springs will hold them on. At least I think that's how it's supposed to work. Yeah, probably not. Anyways, what I am going to do here, I know I got plenty of wire here, so I just took my fingernail, cut some of that off. Yeah. Kind of like that. That way we got something to attach it to. We can always shorten this up. See how that's going to work. I do not expect this, see, that's just not, it's just not tensioning up. I mean, it just, I'm going to cut a little bit more off of it. Okay, Kenny, that's cool. You're still here. I know I did that last week, and you made some kind of comment. Okay, let's see how that looks. I'm not going to get too crazy here because we do got to adjust it a little bit. Boy, I do not like this tail wheel. I love the guy that took over Sullivan, and I've ordered some stuff from him, but I don't like this tail wheel. It just seems to me it's a little chintzy. No, but typically saying you're going to use a spring because it's supposed to isolate the servo or the effects of this on the ground to the servo, so servo don't go bad. So that's why we use springs. Actually, the best spring to use that I've ever found for some of these smaller balls, especially like the 40 size ones, and this one might get it, is ballpoint pen clicks. Those work great. But see, the springs that come with the Dubro arms, or the Dubro tail wheels, are much shorter than this, and they're a lot springier. It's like it's almost like these are too dang soft. We'll try it. This thing ain't gonna be on the ground for very long. So we're just bending the spring around itself here, and then yeah, it just comes right off. Sometimes they're a little bit of a pain to get a good. I don't want to make it permanent yet because the I might have to go back in and take some more spring out of it. I want to make sure that it's got enough spring. So what I'm doing here, see, I'm on the last loop, almost like a bread tie, but there you go. This is not the, I don't know if you realize that or not, but this is not the stock tail wheel assembly either. Yeah, see, this is still, it's just too dang time consuming. Now, where did it go? There it is. And this spring is just, like I said, they're just so soft. This might be something that I have to do off camera. And now it's got, I'm going to take about half of it out. I'm just going to go for way shorter here. That's about normal for a Dubro horn. Okay. And see, now this should be, oh yeah, that's a lot better. Maybe I should have just used one spring and cut it in half. Okay. Let's make this somewhat permanent, and yeah. Yeah. Oh, hey, Dave. How you doing, buddy? We were just talking about you a little while ago about the extra 325. I haven't looked at your video yet that you sent me with the motors. Yeah, they can be a pain to get right. That's for sure. And especially as loose as this guy is. I'm just trying to get a hook. If I can get a hook, I'll be good. See, I'm kind of getting it, but let's revert to the pliers. I can tell you right now what I'm voting for, and I do have both, but my vote would be cadet. Don't get me wrong, I like the Telemaster, but it does have its quirks. Okay, let's see if we can get this guy to. Well, see, that's so much better right there. So let's see, where did we chop it off at? Probably about
prolonged inactivity.
Right there. The biggest thing with these springs is to make sure that they're equal, and that way when you're tensioning them, they're pulling somewhat equal on both sides of it. You'll have a better experience.
Prolonged inactivity.
Yes, I know. See what everybody else thinks. Cadet Senior or Senior Telemaster? Okay. There's that. Let's do this instead. You guys are in it today. Yeah, I got a 97, I think, is the one I got. I got the senior. And I got another one. I got a wing and a tail service that I picked up a couple weeks ago over in Indianapolis. That's all I got. And so I thought I would do a, yeah, 97 is the senior. Uh, just did a video on the 97-inch uh, Telemaster last week with the four-stroke conversion. That video ended up being super popular. Yeah, senior. Yeah, that's one of the first airplanes that I flew too. But believe it or not, it's not the one that I soloed with. So, but it was one of my first airplanes post solo. Okay, that's not bad, but that you can see that that guy's definitely pulling. This guy here is pulling more. It's turning this way. So, um, so we need to tighten this guy up some, which I'll probably. So we'll adjust this a little bit. We'll make her just a smidge a bit tighter here. I don't know if that's going to work or not. Nope. Join. I guess I'm going to have to find some more bolts and bolt them on. That's fine. We'll save that for another day. I'm going to fine tune this setup. This thing's kind of rickety and it might just go in the garbage. That's how much I'm hating this thing right now. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's Tom would love to have that. He's um that's the one that he had was the blue and white ARF. Yeah, the senior ARF. I had a back in the early '90s out in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Um, Me and the club president put. I had the cadet senior kit, and he wanted to compete climbing glide contest with it. So that was pretty much my first modified airplane I ever built. Was a cadet senior. We called it the Pink Elephant because it was solid pink to see it. But we took the dihedral out of it. We converted it to a tail dragger, and instead of putting dual barn door ailerons on it, we actually put spoilers on it, and they were on a mix. And back then, a lot of you guys will remember the Airtronic Stylus radio was one of the first computer radios ever brought to market, and he had one. And so we could, with the aileron control stick, if you go left, it popped the left one up or the right one up. They worked independently or together. And then for power plant, it had a Super Tiger 91 on it with a tuned pipe almost as long as the fuselage. And they had the sport ARF was super popular. They did have a regular cadet senior ARF that was red and white. And but today, I think you can only get the sport senior. Now, the sport senior ARF was actually a conglomeration of a lot of pilots out at Montezuma when he first took it over. I'm trying to remember his name. Can't remember his name. Anyways, he talked to all the pilots about all the cadet seniors getting modified, and that's the sport senior is a conglomeration of that with the barn door ailerons and tail dragger landing gear, and bigger motor, heavier. So, anyways, the pink elephant, it did a climb and glide contest with that 90 on it. It would go vertical out of sight in about, I don't know, 15 seconds. And then we glided around. We held the record for 3 years out there in 92, 93, and 94 with that plane. It finally met its demise the summer of 94. Paul was getting bored and doing low inverted passes with it over the runway, and he pulled up instead of pushing down. So, yeah, I've never had this sports senior. Always wanted one, but I also thought that I would just build one too because it's just a modified senior kit. So yeah, that's a good motor. Probably way overpowered. Tom had a 40 FP on his. Yeah, there's something special about an overpowered senior. Anyways, I'm going to work on this tail wheel a little bit more off camera before we fly it, and kind of get that fine tuned. And but anyways, I think that's it, except for balancing. So let's Magnum 46. Okay, I thought you had an FP 40 on. I'm sorry, Tom. So anyways, how this thing goes together with the electric conversion, if I can get you guys over here. There we go. So I was really hoping to be able to take this canopy off to put the change the battery out, but unfortunately both canopies are going to have to come off. I don't want to charge this in the plane, and I'm not going to be able to get to the battery strap from back here. So anyways, we'll put this in here. Hope everybody likes my pilot. She came out pretty good. Remember how I said that would all dry clear? Yep. And then, anyways, the front hatch that we modified. This is solid wood, and then I, put the dowel rod in there and drilled the hole there, and then used the firewall for the pin. Makes for a really, really nice hatch, even if you're doing glow fuel. So there's that. Future upgrade might be to put some magnets in here, so that way you don't have to have a screwdriver to put the hatch on. And then, of course, the little plastic screw down through here. Do the screwdriver. I thought I already had a layout. Yep, right here. There we go. Now, stickers. You didn't think I'd leave you hanging that bad, did you? With the Something Extra kit, you get that sticker. And then, if I can find it, because I'm not going to, there it is. And you get a white one. So, got the white one on the twin. Which one do you think is going to look better? I'm going to put it left wing panel. It's going to go over here. I think I tried the white one already and liked it. Need to find a pair of scissors somewhere around here. Work. Anyways, when you I think we'll use white because I do plan on adding some trim to this. when you're dealing with the Something Extra stickers, you want to, just like putting a patch on, you want to curve all of your hard corners here, especially the ones that are going to be up towards the front. And then, just like in my twin, I can't get away from a little bit of nostalgia here. You dust it so it looks a little better. Now you can spray Windex on here or whatnot, but I like the, it looks about right method. I want it over the left-wing panel here. Don't push until you're ready. There we go. That looks nice. And then we got to get the, we'll have some black ones here if we do another project. Then you got the, yeah, I'm starting to too. I got to get up in the morning. Thanks guys. If you guys got to get out of here, you always come back tomorrow and watch or something else. But I'm just screwing around at this point. Yeah, thanks for coming in. Swamp Juice, I don't know if you heard me earlier or not, but I am going to take a couple weeks off of the live streams. I will be back in 2 weeks to start the Sig Phasure build. And then, but next weekend I'll be out in Iowa at the Sig Fun Fly to enjoy that. It's the first one of the year. You can look it up, on the AMA site or whatnot. Got to get the Sig on there on the rudder. Anyways, so don't forget, in a couple weeks we're gonna start building that Phasure over there, and that'll be another. You can build along if you want. I'm gonna make a bunch of modifications to it and do more information on that in the coming weeks. So you guys have yourself a good night. Thanks for joining us tonight. It's been a lot of fun to have you. So anyways, we put the reason why I'm putting it on the wood here is so that way you can't see it from the other side. That's the ticket. Yeah. Okay, cool. We'll see you in a few weeks. I'll be live out at SIG next weekend probably. Yep. Okay, I think we only got 2 more stickers left. Okay, so I've decided to put the PRG sticker up here on the front nose because I think it needs to I think the nose needs to break up. See what I mean? How much that, and yes, that's, oh, shut up. Stupid thing. This is a PRG sticker for Pink Ribbon Good Organization. We'll definitely be taking some pictures of this thing next few days and getting them submitted. We got till August 18th to do that. These are from Callie. If I can get the paper started here. Anyway, she uses Callie Graphics. She uses this transfer paper so you can kind of see what you're dealing with. But when you pull it off, you want to pull it off of the back and not the front like it's doing. This thing's been floating around the shop for a while, so hopefully it'll. Sometimes if you have problems, you can push. Or if you're really having problems, you can get underneath here and pick it up. It's supposed to be a sticker. At least I think it is. Yeah, she's got it a little individualized here. That's what you want right there. You want it to come off in one piece on the back side of it. And that way when you put it on, you can line it up. What do you think? Right out there. That looks good. I couldn't think of any better place to put it than up front here. I like nose art. And then the great unveil. Hey, look at that. And then probably the most important sticker. Where should we put RC Barnett? Probably on the wing panel under. Oh, look at that. That's going to be almost perfect. Or it is perfect. This is also a calligraphic. Pull that off. I'm really excited to see what this looks like. I haven't peeled one back yet. I'm not usually a sticker guy, but I do like the something extra decals. Oh, that. Boy, doesn't that look familiar. Boy, I like that. That looks sharp. I don't know if you guys can see the smile on my face right now, but yep. Oh, what a build. What a build. So we'll get some pictures taken of this thing. We're going to submit it to the AMA for Pink Ribbon Good organization. I actually had the I thought I saw the there it is. It's this guy here. Of course, it's been all over AMA, so you know that's what we're going to enter in. So if there's voting, man, maybe you should go. I don't know if they're going to vote for it and have it online or what, but you know, it'd be cool to win. Dubro prizes and everything. So, anyways, I'm gonna get that tail wheel fixed. I'll do that maybe tomorrow or Monday, and I want you guys to keep an eye out for the channel. I will have. It might be short notice, but I'll try to do the best that I can to notify you of the impending maiden voyage here and getting this thing balanced and getting it in the air. I'm just going to start adding some weights to the nose of it when I get done. Tom wanted me to mention about balance. There is a range on here. Ideally, your balance point will be on the center of the spar here. And, excuse me. And, but you do have about I think a 1 inch range on that back and forth. Moving it more tail heavy will make the airplane a lot more responsive. Of course, moving it nose heavy will do the absolute opposite. It will make it feel more mushy. So, you know, once you fly it in the center of the recommended range or thereabouts, you know, within a few eighth of an inch or so, you know, you can play around with it. Like, you know, we're going to add a bunch of nose weight to this thing. And, you know, after I fly it, it might not be that responsive. You know, I can start pulling some weight off of it, off the nose until I like it and like how it flies. So, you know, we'll have a video out on that here pretty soon on balance and what it does for your airplane and everything. I don't usually worry too much about lateral balance and this stuff unless there's a real big problem with it in the air. So, anyways, any other questions, guys, before we get out of here? I do got to get up in the morning and go to work too. So, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'd really appreciate it. This has been a really fun build. I am looking forward to the next one with the phaser. That should be full of surprises and stuff in store for that. Some modifications that I'm planning on for it. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. So we got this, and then the phaser, and then I'm not sure what we'll do after that. I'll come up with something that'll probably be November, December, I would imagine, or about 3 to 4 months to a build on one of these, maybe 5. I'm not sure when we started out to look it up. But this is episode 21, or 21, yeah. So, and I know we took a couple weeks off. But thanks, guys. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go shut this thing down and go to bed. So, you guys have a good night, and I will. I'll see you next time. Remember, we're going to go live at the SIG, and we're going to take a week off, and then we'll get started on the phaser. So, later. Oh, if you can dream it, you can build it.